Hey, hey, Taurus. Mel, intuitive coach here. Excited to bring in your November 2025 career and money reading. All right, let's open up your energy field and take a look at what the upcoming month has in store for you. You have the coins showing up at the bottom of the deck. This tells me that you are opening the floodgates of abundance. Many of you are focusing on how you can increase that flow of abundance, perhaps by generating a new income source. For some of you, you may be connecting to a boss or a manager to talk about a raise or to talk about responsibilities here. I see that money is coming in for you and you are investing wisely. There is a new opportunity here to showcase your talents. And if you have come to this reading unemployed or if you have been looking for a new job opportunity, I see it coming through here for you. You have the Queen of Swords at the bottom of the deck. When it comes to your finances here, your career, you are an educated powerhouse, meaning you have the gift of strategy, you have the gift of communication, and your ideas are really quite wonderful. And if you have been in a role where people have not honored your voice or honored your ideas, I see that you are pivoting here. You are shifting and aligning with energies that do hold respect, okay? Because the Queen of Swords is highly respectable, but she's also very clear on her intentions. And many of you are getting clear here on what it is that you want because you already know what you do not want. And I feel like you're focusing here on the big picture. You are also someone who sees through any sort of BS, and you are being guided to advocate for yourself, especially if you have been treated poorly or if there's been some sort of gossip here, because you do have gossip showing up. And this could be some form of drama, but I feel like you are minimizing drama. You're taking personal responsibility and acting with integrity, which means not my monkeys, not my circus. You don't need to get entangled in some sort of mess or let external noise control your thoughts, control your mind. Because remember, the Queen of Swords is the queen of the mind. People may be talking about you. They may be talking about what you are doing. Let them. If people want to talk because they don't have anything better to do, don't get caught up in that energy. And also, when gossip shows up, this can also be letting criticism or letting external validation here affect you in some way. So again, you are being asked to create a boundary and to advocate for yourself, speak up for yourself if need be, but also not to lower your vibration if this energy is surrounding you. Your personal drama, for some of you, there may be something personal going on in your life. Yeah, I see now with that Three of Swords, there could be a divorce. There may be, a financial challenge through the court system, or there's something here that feels a little bit messy and you are trying not to let this affect you financially. It's easier said than done, I know, but Spirit is saying here with that Queen of Swords, don't get confused in what your dreams, your goals, and your hopes are, okay? Don't let this external noise or this challenge here get the best of you. Recenter yourself, rebalance yourself. The Queen of Swords is Libran energy, and she's all about harmony, balance, and justice. So taking accountability for her own actions, but also letting other individuals do what they need to do. And even if that means they are not vibrating at an energy that she is or at a frequency she is, then that's okay because you can move forward here in your truth, in your integrity. So whatever this gossip is, I see that there's going to be some sort of disconnect here, or you're moving away from this energy. Now you have the office coming through. You may be guided to delegate more or to connect to others through teamwork or collaborative efforts. I see for some of you, you may be wanting to get out of an environment that does feel very it feels like high school, or I should say like middle school here. It feels immature, or people could be kind of trying to control a situation, or there may be just an energy of not getting along here, a lot of adversity. There may even be a lot of competition here. It just feels very high school, and I see that you want to connect to individuals that share your vision, people that want to collaborate, people who support you. And you may even be working in an office, even if you do work from home, where you could be a secretary, a staff assistant, an office manager, or any job where you may be doing administrative tasks here, working with communication, working with technology. And if you are a business owner, the gossip here could even be external noise that's coming through, where you may think people are perceiving your goods or your services a certain way, but that's where that mind takes over, and we start to like invalidate, and you don't want to let that mind wreak havoc here in a negative way. So we have the eggs showing up. Not only are you thinking of the greater good to achieve a better outcome, but you're starting to see things from perhaps a higher perspective. You may be starting over here. You may be moving into a new opportunity. This could be a new role, a new department. If you are branching off in your business, this could be a fresh idea that allows you to expand, allows you to get up out of this gossipy, or even I'm getting a little bit of Seven of Swords energy, where there may have even been some form of deception or even self-denial. But I see that you're moving past that, moving beyond it. You've learned some very valuable lessons that you don't need to go back and repeat. Some of you may be in healthcare or insurance. You may be getting paid by commission. I see that you are learning at this time, maybe even taking classes, courses, workshops, or seminars that can help you advocate for yourself, help you grow in your abundance by taking your career to the next level, or to branch off and maybe start your own business in some capacity here. So I like the fresh vibes coming in, and I like to see the money flowing. And if there is some sort of shift going on, I mean, this could even be gossip by higher ups, or it could be like the rumor mill, where there could be talk of like shutdown, there could be talk of laying people off, and you are being guided to just stay in your lane and focus on what is within your control, and to do your job, and have this perspective here of growth, and trusting that no matter what shows up, Queen of Swords, she can get through anything, because she is someone who sees through the BS, sees through the illusions and the fog. And I see that you are someone who is highly capable. You're very talented, and any company would be, it'd be a blessing for you to work for them. And if you are a business owner, I see that you are taking the bull by the horns here, and you are shifting your vibration here, moving into something that really does feel more aligned. Now, your current financial energy is the Emperor. So this is big boss vibes here. Success in business, success in legal matters for those of you that may be, going through an issue with human resources, or if there has been a legal battle or a situation here that you have been fighting with that kind of Seven of Swords, Five of Wands energy that I'm picking up on from the gossip here. But this is also about maturity. You are someone who is very mature. Regardless of age, it feels like you have learned a lot in this lifetime. And again, the reminder is you're not going to stoop to anyone's level. And I see that many of you have created a life for yourself that does feel more balanced, does feel more harmonized, because the Emperor, he is stable, but he's disciplined, and you've had to stay disciplined here, or even consistent within your efforts, within your actions. But the Emperor really sees results because he has dedicated his life to growing, to evolving, and leveling up, especially when there is change on the horizon. He embodies change, and I see you are being guided to go with the flow, and that is what truly allows you to stay in the driver's seat of your own life. And that's what you are trying to do here when it comes to your finances. Now, some of you may even be connecting to a business owner. This could be a boss. This could be someone of higher authority, someone that may even, work in the legal system. So I see that there's some form of big boss support coming in here for you. If this is not your energy, you are matching with this. And it feels like there's a really beautiful golden, quite literally with the golden eggs here, a golden opportunity coming in for you. So what is the source of blockage here? King of Swords. Wow. Okay. So the King of Swords as a blockage. For some of you, this was a partnership that you were involved in. It doesn't have to be romantic, of course. If anything, it feels like this was maybe a 50-50 partnership within a company, or it could even be that you've worked in maybe a family company for some of you, or there's an imbalance here in divine masculine and feminine energies where someone may have felt like they knew more, or they had more experience when both of you did the same role, right? Or both of you were in the, got the paid the same, or you were on the same level, so to speak, but someone may have been reacting in an immature way. The King of Swords, when he is in his power, he is someone who's take charge. He is the masculine version here of the Queen of Swords. He is a direct leader, and he's willing to share his knowledge and share, his experience. But when he is in the blockage or reverse position here, this can be someone who's very skeptic, very hot-headed, angry, a poor communicator. This could even be someone who gets his answers from his head, not his heart. And sometimes it doesn't always mean that what he thinks or what he says is for the highest good, because this can be a very selfish energy, this King of Swords. So you may have been dealing with an individual who was very selfish and not thinking of the greater good, where I see here that that's part of what energy is showing up. Like, it's important here to think of how everyone may be affected by this situation. And when they don't think of that, it can be a very selfish energy. And I also see with the bald eagle, there may be an energy of freedom. If this does not involve someone else, perhaps it is, action here, because the kings represent action. And maybe there hasn't been a lot of action here when it comes to your financial growth, or you haven't felt like you can have that financial freedom that you are wanting, or you want to liberate yourself from a situation that has been challenging. And for many of you, if this is the block, this could even be your own mindset that is holding you back. And I always say 99%, if not 100% of our struggles, of our challenges are in the mind. And this is so powerful. And the fact that you have a king and a queen, which both represent the power of thought, the power of decisions, communication, the intellect, the ego. Sometimes this can be a battle of the ego, where our ego wants something in a certain way, but at the same time, we are being intuitively guided here to see things from perhaps a fresh perspective or a beginner's mindset here. So your money mindset, your beliefs and attitude around money, 3 of Swords. Now, when this shows up, Taurus, as a belief, I don't love it. All right. I don't love it because it means that there's been a loss of trust. There's been a loss of belief here in some capacity. Maybe you've been unhappy with how something has shaped up or how something has been handled. And sometimes we lose sight of that dream or that goal or that hope. And I see that you are being guided here to kind of shift that mindset here and lean into the Queen of Swords. This is about you reminding yourself that you are educated, that you are a powerhouse, that you are a thought leader, you are a boss. And that's why the Emperor is showing up here to remind you of that. And even though some of you are like, Mel, I'm not a boss though, right? I work for a boss. This is about you being in the driver's seat of your own life and staying dedicated to your craft and staying experimental here and moving forward with that growth mindset, because the Three of Swords says, yes, there's been challenges here. There's been disappointments, but don't let this right here, gossip. Don't let the King of Swords energy pull you into that mental mind trap where there needs to be a mental mind dump, right? It's important that you really assess any of the beliefs that are tethered or tied perhaps to a past experience or challenge and reevaluate your relationship with money, okay? This is about you saying, I am capable. I am worthy of attracting abundance. I can love what I do and profit from it. And not only can you believe in this, but you are being guided to take action steps to remind you of your beliefs, right? So action and belief go hand in hand here instead of letting this Three of Swords dominate you. And I see that even though at times you were, I'm not trusting other individuals, that's actually created a space in your own energy to check in with yourself and say, okay, I can trust my higher self at this time. I can trust that the universe has my back here. I can trust that, I am taking personal responsibility and acting with integrity. So you can trust yourself, even if you've been let down by others. So don't let that lack of trust kind of define your mindset at this time. So what are the opportunities here, Taurus, for income? You have something beautiful, something fresh, something new, something passionate here with this Page of Wands. Now, the Page of Wands is saying you're learning a new skill at this time. You could be learning a new skill regarding something that really lights you up. This could be a course of study, a project that you're working on, or it could even be a new message coming in around your career. And I feel like you're investing in this, all right? And this feels playful. It feels lighthearted here. But it also is about you focusing and prioritizing, because sometimes we lose sight of, our goals, or we lose sight because we're not seeing the results right away. And then we fall back into that Three of Swords mind pit. And Spirit is saying here, open yourself up to this skill and stay consistent with it. Open yourself up to this opportunity, because I do see that there's a message or incoming news, a call or an email that is lighting you up at this time. Or it could be, a class or a seminar that really inspires you. So the page is inspiration, but it's also potential. And so potential is wonderful and all, but we have to back up that potential. So something that you want to learn, instead of just saying, I want to learn this, or I want to take that class, or I want to open up my, my business. This is about you, feeling inspired enough to take the next step that is required in order to fully embody this energy and to believe in yourself along the way. Believe that you have what it takes to move forward, that you are someone who is very talented. You are someone who is very skilled, but consistency is going to pay off and help you master your craft in some way. It's going to help you build your confidence, even if something is fresh. Now, what is the unexpected financial influence? That darn mind. We have the swords coming up. Now, the fact that this is, an unexpected financial influence, I want to look at the bright side here of the Page of Swords. Now, when it comes to money, this is about the details. This is about projects here. It's about studying, as we've just talked about with this Page of Wands. But he is the private investigator. He is the one that says, okay, I want to learn everything about everything, but also we need to see that night energy or some form of action being taken. And some of you may be pausing or hesitating because you feel like you don't have enough information, or you feel like you have to stay in this planning stage here, or it just feels like you've been rejected in some way, or there is a rejection mentality with that Three of Swords. And that can be ego battles. Some of you may have even had, a financial influence because of children in some capacity, whether these are your own children or there's been a battle between you and maybe an ex-partner. And I see that you are thinking of everyone here, but sometimes it's hard to not let the ego get in the way, especially if there are push and pull energies like I see here in this reading. Now, the Page of Swords as a financial influence can be very beneficial because this element of swords also has to do with technology. So you have an advantage point. You can learn online. You can listen to podcasts. You can go on YouTube. You can learn anything at your fingertips. You are walking around with, a mini computer system in your pocket at all times. Most of you have access to the internet, and I see that you can use this to your advantage. You can learn, you can grow. And if you are saying to yourself, that's impossible, I want you to start saying, I'm possible, right? I want you to start knowing that you can learn and you can grow, you can evolve here, which you are. And there's this whole fresh energy of starting again, but you're starting from wisdom. You're starting from experience with that Emperor energy coming through. So what are the action steps here? Practical steps to boost your abundance. You have the Ace of Cups, which is beautiful energy because this is a new creative job. It is something that aligns with your fulfillment here. And I see that it's going to bring in a bit of a soul-quenching renewal. So let's dive in and take a look at an action step here. It says anything is possible. When you shift your mindset, hello the mind, and allow yourself to dream, anything is possible. What have you been dreaming of, Taurus? If you could have, be, or do anything, what would you choose? If it's on your heart, it is meant for you. Here's your action step. Journal and list all of the things that bring you joy. Be specific. Think about the holistic, best self version of you with your money, with your career, with your passions. And I want you to say to yourself, oh my goodness, you guys, you can't make this up. You know how I just said impossible to I'm possible? It says, I believe anything is possible. I feel it. I see it. It is real. So dropping into, that creative side of the brain, right? The right hemisphere of the brain, which is about creation instead of over analyzing things. Try not to let that private investigator, get the best of you where you're constantly trying to figure things out. Like, how do I fix this? How do I solve this? And move into the creation piece. I just did a collective video about this. I'll link the playlist if you haven't already checked it out at the end of the video. So again, anything is possible here for you. All right. What is the outcome? What is the outcome here? If you follow this guidance, what is the likely result? Well, you have the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is about you moving towards something bigger and better that's waiting for you. And yes, it can be walking away or cutting your losses or moving away from a situation that perhaps at one point you were invested in, but I see that you want something more meaningful. Many of you are on this personal path of growth and discovery and independence, the quest for something deeper and more meaningful. So the Eight of Cups always means that there is a new path ahead. And in order for this new path to fully open up, we have to focus on what's ahead instead of looking behind us, because you may be guided again to leave something or someone behind in order to grow. And I see that you are moving towards your Nine of Cups, which is your emotional fulfillment, right? That's connected to that Ace of Cups here, because the 8 and the Ace equal the 9. So something that does feel a lot more spiritually aligned as well. Excuse me. All right. Let's get a message from the wisdom of the Oracle. I just heard the name Nancy. Perhaps your name is Nancy, and I'm getting 1580. 1580, so 1580. That is completely random. Maybe that's someone's, maybe it's the last four of your social or your telephone number. Maybe it's a home address, 1580. Okay, that's interesting. We have chop wood. Chop wood, number 42. Some of you may be 42 years old. Chop wood is about being grounded in everyday experience. It is about humility. Now is the time to take small steps, right? On the journey to creating your most prosperous life. Move your focus off of the biggest dream possible, right? And attend to the mundane chores. This always reminds me of Lao Tzu's saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Often we don't start because we are looking at, the 1,000 miles. We're looking at way ahead, which is great to not give up on a dream or a hope and to, create that big picture, big vision. But it's important for you to take a single step here. Focus on the little things that may have even piled up. And this is going to help you get out of that headspace as well. If you feel like you've been kind of running around in the mind trying to come up with a solution, this is about you kind of stepping away from that. If you need to do the mundane chores, if you need to do the dishes or take a look at that pile of bills, whatever it is here, chop wood, carry water, as the Zen proverb advises. Or even walk the dog, get out of that mind and get moving. While you're doing that, Spirit will have a chance to move mountains and set wondrous miracles in motion for you. Remain humble and aware of the present. Now, I am going to read you the protection message here because of that Three of Swords as a mindset, and because I keep getting here sometimes the mind as a big challenge, as a big block. It says, are you an armchair astronaut? Do you dream of wealth and fame, big ideas, inventions, or desires with a capital D? The appearance of this card is a sign that you might be devoting far too much time dreaming and talking about your dreams. You have to get out of the chair to make things happen. You actually have to do something. Start with a small task, and remember, the big dream becomes reality only after you have begun to take instrumental steps. Mythologist Joseph Campbell once said, take one step toward the gods and they will take 10 steps towards you. Absolutely. And that's what's happening here with this ace. That is part of you, opening yourself up and saying, wait a second, this is possible. I have what it takes here. I can learn. I can connect to resources. I can figure this out because everything is figure outable. All right, Taurus, let's get a message here from your spirit animals. At this time, if you can safely do so, please close your eyes. Take a nice deep inhale from your nose. Nice big breath in. Hold it for the count of 3, 2, 1. And release through your mouth with a nice deep sigh. And with your eyes still closed, tune into your third eye chakra, the area between your eyebrows and your forehead region. And I want you, Taurus, to imagine the first animal or animals that show up in your mind's eye. Now, this could be an animal that flies high in the sky or swims deep in the sea. Your animal could be wild, domesticated, mystical, or magical. This could be a pet that's crossed over the rainbow bridge, one that's crossed your path in the great outdoors, or even visited through your dreams or meditation. And if you need a moment, just pause the video and come back when you are ready. And for those of you that would like to be entered into the free monthly reading giveaway, all you need to do is drop your animal or animals, whether you have 1 or 5, drop them below in the comment section. I will enter you into the free reading giveaway. All right, so we have African lynx. This is about silence here. It's about, the African lynx, especially when he is out hunting, when he is ready to pounce on his prey, he does so quietly. And I feel like many of you are building in silence as you move towards your manifestation here, keeping things to yourself because not everyone is trustworthy. And you may be building in silence, but I also see for some of you as well, you have the gift of prophecy. Many of you do have the gift of prophecy, and you may be paying attention to body language as well and using all of the tools, using all of the resources here to help you become aware of your surroundings, but really touching base with you. How is your body responding here? How do I feel when I'm in this situation? Do I start to feel restricted? Does my throat start to get heavy? Does my chest start to get heavy? Do I feel like I can expand in this energy, or do I feel restricted? So pay attention to your own body language. Next, we have the Komodo dragon. Komodo dragon is all about revolutionary change. And many of you, you're turning the tide here in some way. It's like you are creating legacy by the choices and the changes that you are making, especially when it comes to your family and the people around you, even your clients and the people that you work with as well. There is revolutionary change, and your soul chose to incarnate into this lifetime. And we all know that things aren't the easiest right now in 2025. There's a lot of revolutionary change that is occurring, but the fact that you are brave enough to choose this lifetime to grow and advance and evolve is huge. And I feel like you are currently living out your purpose, and the changes that are occurring, yes, they can feel scary, but you are part of this collective consciousness here. And you have these survival instincts that, yes, they're kicking in, but you're tuning into your body and you're saying, all right, I don't have to live in a constant state of survival. I can also manifest here abundance. So there's this energy of really connecting and tuning in with yourself. And lastly, we have the salmon. Salmon represents new ideas and divination. Now, salmon swim upstream, I believe, when it is mating season. And so you may feel at times like you are swimming upstream, but I feel like your hard work is going to pay off because the hard work, the fruits of your labor are bringing in, new ideas also. And you are being guided to expand, even if it means that you are going against the crowd or you're doing things in a way that maybe other people don't approve upon, because most of the time people talk because they wish that they could move into an energy, or their own projections at times are being placed upon others. So I feel like you are being guided to embrace your ideas here and not follow the crowd is what I'm getting. And that's why the salmon, swims upstream, because you may be taking a path that is less traveled because nobody wants to maybe go the extra mile at times, but it's going to be worth it here for you. And so whatever it is that you are staying consistent towards, whatever new ideas you have here, Spirit is saying, manifest them. Take one single action step today and list all of the things that do bring you joy, because this is about the best version of yourself when it comes to your career and being able to offer that best version up instead of feeling like you are stuck, right? Instead of feel like you're drowning. And that's why the salmon is showing up. And divination. Some of you may also use divination tools to help you out at this time, whether this is tarot or oracle. I mean, this could even be maybe saging your home and doing a good cleansing. It could even be working with water, right? Hydrotherapy. I mean, there's so many different forms that we can use that can help us reconnect to our inner selves, to recenter. And they're not just divination tools, right? But these are spiritual tools that help us remember who we are, help us remember that, we are more than our thoughts per se, that we can reconnect to the sacred centerness within. All right, let's get a final message here for you. What's the final message? I'm going to draw one more here from this deck before we close out your reading. All right. Honor your feelings. Honor your feelings. How have you been feeling, Taurus? Are you telling yourself you should or shouldn't be feeling a certain way? Feelings are like visitors. They come and go. When we hold our feelings in, the energy can get stuck in our body and manifest as physical pain. You have a right to feel how you feel. Honor the feeling. Take a deep breath and release. Allow yourself to be with the emotion you feel. Breathe into it. Truly experience it. It will pass. This is what I want you to do if you can. In the comment section below with your power animal. Today I feel blank and I honor that. Let me know, Taurus, how are you feeling? Maybe you're feeling scared. Perhaps you're feeling awesome. You may be feeling imaginative. Maybe you're feeling worried. Honor these feelings, bring them up, write them down so we can release them, so we can put them out into the universe and fall back into the energy of trust. Like, okay, this is a valid feeling. It's something that, it's coming up for a reason, but I don't have to let that stay. I don't have to let that feeling stay. I can shift my mindset, my perspective. So that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, Taurus. If you enjoyed the reading, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share it with someone who may benefit from it. And if you are interested in a personal reading or signing up for the monthly newsletter, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video or by visiting intuitivesoulcoach.com.